For some, the message is that we're talking about material security. Yeah. For some Aquarians, that's a quality you're looking for. That's something that you need to be part of your love life. I just was saying to Taurus, and I heard from another reader, love and money are equally important, right? So some of you that's a serious factor. You're wanting this security in a material way. Some of you it's in an emotional sense. Some of us, I should say, it's both. Okay, so Aquarians, I do hope that helped in some way, offered you some insight, something that you didn't have when you came to the reading. The last thought I'll leave you with, I just saw another card I meant to mention, is that boys and girls probably can't offer you the type of emotional or material security that it is that you're looking for. Sorry, boys and girls. But you're just not there yet, right? Because we had the youth card turn up reversed as an additional message there, as if to say, you know, remember that you're looking for a particular type of security and that someone who's too immature can't offer it. Pretty simple, right? Pretty simple, but even we could find a way to complicate something simple, right, Aquarians? Okay, so I will leave it at that. If you would like a private reading, scroll down to the description, check my YouTube channel. All your options are there. Thank you. I appreciate likes and subscribes, and take good care. So with that, we will move on to the next. Where were we? Cancer, Leo. Leos. Leos, these will be your love messages, or this is your love reading for Scorpio season 2018. I'm sorry that we are running a little behind, I guess, but I do hope that this is right on time for you. Love for Leo during Scorpio season 2018. Okay. The Knight of Pentacles, the Seven of Wands reversed, High Priestess, King of Swords, Four of Pentacles reversed, Six of Cups reversed, and the King of Pentacles. So much masculine mastery of both mental and material worlds here. Two upright kings showing up and standing out, and of course it's balanced out with this feminine intuition showing up on the table as well. The bottom of the deck, we have the Two of Pentacles. Someone's overall during Scorpio season, someone is juggling regarding your love life. Hopefully not you juggling two people. I'm not accusing you. It's just the first thing I see. Juggling and or stalling, right? You see how this gypsy looking character seems to be sort of trying to distract us, as if she's stalling, trying to create a diversion while something else goes on. And with the High Priestess there, I do see secrets in the foundation of the situation. And or a Taurus. It could be that you're dealing with a Taurian energy, some of you Leos, in the foundation of the situation. Currently, what's happening is that you are progressing slowly and steadily regarding your love life in Scorpio season 2018, Leos. You are progressing slowly and steadily. And moving out of a space of some of you moving out of a space of having been defensive. You're met with an energy this season in your love life who is lacking some control. Doubting themselves. It can be, so far what I see unfolding, it can be someone else in your love life has been juggling. If that's something, I'm not suggesting that's something unbeknownst to you, but if that's something that resonates already, that you've already been aware of. And that's why I do see secrets here in the foundation of the situation. And that, if that's your situation, if there are secrets in your more distant past with an individual at the beginning of the year, or as you progress through 2018, and that's why you're taking things so slowly now, because they have, and they're someone with a lot of self-doubt. I do see juggling currently. I do see someone juggling currently. So I will say that. For some of you, you're progressing slowly and steadily, but you're in a situation that would require a counselor and you do not have one. Because that is the clarification card showing up on the Knight of Pentacles energy that covers you. So some of you are dealing with an earth energy. As I said, it could have been a Taurus already too. Or Capricorn, Virgo, or the other earth signs. They could, it could, but this I think is your energy here. I feel like this is your energy and this is an energy that you're dealing with. As the clarifier, honestly. You're progressing slowly and steadily, but again, this situation may require outside help, or, this person is just dealing with some really difficult emotions. Maybe they need some help outside of you, because the 12 of water reversed. Yeah, I see you sort of, Leos, I see you sort of wanting to rescue this person, to rescue someone else. Maybe because they have so much self-doubt. But they are also lacking self-control, and something that they could be doing, they may seem to progress slowly and steadily along with you in surface ways, in material ways. Maybe they're helping you pay the bills. Maybe they're contributing around the house, or making tangible contributions to your all's relationship in some way, whether or not you live together. But emotionally, are they present? Emotionally, are they being honest? Are they showing you honest affection? Are they able to be honest? Are they consequently manipulating you because they're manipulating themselves? Are these the type of things that you see but dismiss or misinterpret as qualities of theirs that you need to rescue them because of or from? I definitely do see you sweeping in. The three of water, though, can also be an energy of celebration at times. It's not the way that it's showing up for me right this second. I think I certainly see the message that it could be saying, you know, if you or this other individual, whomever needs it, or the relationship were to get the outside help that's actually required, that would be something to be celebrated. But someone is lacking self-control in this situation in your love life this season. Someone is maybe one or both of you are, you know, could be unable to keep yourselves away from each other. And it could be self-control in that sense. It's interesting though, because I see a slow and steady progression. We're going to get a clarifier on these, on the High Priestess in your foundation, in the root of the situation. It could be secrets. It could be. It could be someone listening to their intuition. Again, I often see a Taurus energy in the High Priestess. And I did say earlier that that was feminine energy, and now we have the Mother card showing up to clarify it. And then we have the King of Swords in your recent past. Some part of me just hates to have yet another message that's difficult to deliver, but I do see the message that some of you, when your ego is quiet, you know that you can't hold on to what you have currently, and that certainly falls in line with those of you who, like I said, are trying to rescue someone who may be trying to manipulate you, not being completely honest with you. Now, if that doesn't resonate, it doesn't resonate. The King of Swords in the recent past, though, is someone being very honest, being very forthright, someone wise, smart, intelligent, someone with great ideas, who gives great counsel. So it could be that in the recent past, you all were seeking counsel from someone, and currently you've decided to progress along slowly and steadily without the counselor anymore. But be careful. A word to the wise. I do see a lack of self-control, some self-doubt. Now, if you're wanting to swoop in and rescue this other person in terms of, you know, being there for them the way a partner should be, so that you two can maintain without having to continue going back to counseling, that's one thing. But if they specifically themselves need care that you can't provide, and you see them showing signs of that, and you're trying to rescue them when they obviously need outside care, you're hurting both of you more than you're helping anybody, right? And that's, you know, and that's what's difficult about these general messages. That's why I repeat and repeat. If it doesn't resonate, it doesn't resonate. You have to bring your discernment to the table, etc. But there are just so many different messages. And so for some, you know, for some it's on one side of the line, and for others it's on the other. If you've gone to some sort of couples counseling and you've been given certain exercises you can try to be there for one another without needing to come back, that is completely different than, again, them needing some type of care that you cannot provide. By Sagittarius season, I see this King of Pentacles energy representing Sagittarius season for you Leos. Again, this masculine mastery showing up a couple of times, and this is in a sense of material wealth, security. If this is also, like I said, a family man. And so I do see this progression happening from the Knight of Pentacles to the King of Pentacles. This is the place that you're in currently in your love life, progressing slowly and steadily, and continuing on in that way, slowly and steadily, you do reach this King of Pentacles energy by Sagittarius season. And I think some advice for you is to realize that it's your destiny, that this path that you've been on is destined. Or not to ignore the path and the calling that you know is your destiny. I think that you've already been following that path, the path that your intuition led you down since the High Priestess is in the root of the situation, the foundation. It can be a Taurus energy for some, maybe in your own chart. That's just as likely, if not more. But I think that what's happened here is that you and or your partner in the recent past have been really honest about whomever's involved in your love life, you and then whomever else is involved in your love life. One or both of you have been very honest about what you want, what you need, what you're capable of, what you bring to this partnership or potential partnership. And it just may mean that some adjustments need to be made. And that's why it's great that you are progressing at such a slow and steady pace, because I do see that you know when your ego is quiet, when in your crowning thoughts and your higher consciousness, your higher mind, when your ego isn't coming at you, you know that you can't hold on to what you have now. But that can mean the way that you're doing things now. It can also be, suggesting that you're not protecting your boundaries. You would think that your ego would be what would serve to keep you safe, but perhaps right now at this time it's applied to trying to keep someone else safe. As I said, I see you wanting to rescue, specifically if you're the female Leo or the Leo that's more in the feminine energy at this time, because I think it's a feminine energy's intuition that's gotten us to this point, or how your intuition, or when your intuition, a time when your intuition spoke to you from your feminine, from a feminine place, right? It was a feminine intuition that's gotten us to where we are now. That took you to counseling to begin with, perhaps. Took you to seek help in some sense for this love. And see, it's like you have committed, someone has committed very fully to this relationship and to its progress and its evolution and to the other person, and they've decided and communicated that they will not let that other person down. And I feel like, it was probably both of you that vocalized this, and probably both of you were being honest and meant that at the time. And yet there's this Counselor in reverse here, making me think that for some Leos, one partner presently is just unable to live up to that. And yet the other one is still insisting that they don't let that person down. Some Leos, not all. Others are progressing slowly and steadily forward without needing any outside help, having finally reached a place in their partnership where they can support one another in any way they would have looked for from outside help. Regardless, you are progressing toward that King of Pentacles energy by Sagittarius season, reaching a goal that it seems like you've had set moving into this season. As far as feeling secure in your connection. It maybe for singles, just feeling secure and knowing what it is that you want in your love life, or what you're going to channel your energy toward instead. But also, regardless, at the same time, you're either unable to hold on to something that you have materially the way it is now, or aren't properly protecting your boundaries. And for those Leos who are dealing with someone who recently committed to not letting the relationship down just as equally as you did, but are slipping up and are falling back into old manipulative ways and patterns currently, it's those of you that I'm talking to when I say, your boundaries aren't being protected. You're wanting to rescue, and you're wanting to remain flawlessly committed to somebody who, for one reason or another, is unable to differentiate their emotions from their feelings, and unable to offer you what you're offering. And again, not all Leos. The past is coming up in your near future. So toward the end of Scorpio season, you're either going to be obsessing over what has just happened, or someone's coming back from your past, and possibly someone that, doesn't need to return. Now, I'm not sure how all of these different pieces puzzle together for each one of you Leos, but it's a destined path, because whether you stay with this, whether you're single or coupled, and whether you stay with whom you're with now or not, there is this clear progression, again, one more time, from the Knight to the King. So you may find that you have to leave that manipulative energy behind. You may find that you're not interested in whomever pops up from your past. You may find that protecting your boundaries is much more important to you than rescuing someone else. But still, you set out to progress toward this mastery of your material world, having your home, your family, your finances, your resources managed the way that you see fit. And you knew that the way to progress was slowly and steadily, and you're already seeing the results you were looking for, one way or the other, alone or partnered, by Sagittarius season. That may mean the end of Sagittarius season. So keep that in mind. And patched together, though this path has been and reading has been, and though I can't see clearly how it falls out for each and every one of you, know that it's happened this way. Each stone was set in place for you to jump to next, to get you to your destiny, because it was your destined path. You were drawn toward manifesting this reality for yourself because it is what is destined for you. And that's exactly where you're headed at some point in Sagittarius season, even if for some of you that means leaving someone behind who may be the reason this juggling energy is showing up. Perhaps someone who you thought was a divine masculine partner of yours. and perhaps was a karmic partner of sorts. And it may very well clear your karma, because see, we have this divine masculine energy and then this karmic energy showing up underneath of that, juggling. This whole situation, messy and complicated and confusing as it may have been, may clear your karma and be the catalyst for your transformation, so that you can meet your destiny prepared and in the energy you're supposed to be in for it. Again, even if that means leaving someone behind, realizing that you can't or aren't meant to rescue someone. For some of you, that's not all of you. But I do hope that that helped, Leos. I hope that that offered you something that you didn't have when you came to the reading. I hope that you make very wise choices moving throughout the rest of Scorpio season and into Sagittarius season. If you'd like a private reading from me, just scroll down or check my YouTube channel. All your options are there. Thank you again for likes and subscribes and just checking out your love reading, and take good care. Who's next? Pisces. Pisces. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mars, or any, if Pisces calls to you for any reason. Pisces. You're not feeling very confident about something in your love life at this time. Okay, so that's why you're checking out a love reading for Scorpio season, right, Pisces? And it's a burden. It's, my guess is that there's a partnership of sorts, whether it's technically committed or not, and you're not feeling confident about the way that it's going, the direction that it's going, and it is a burden to you. Both the fact that you're unsure which direction it's going, and also just aspects of other aspects of the relationship in general. Okay. The partnership or potential partnership, the situation in your love life, it's burdensome, and I think that's both why you're not feeling confident about the direction it's going, and that's contributing. It's a vicious cycle. Okay, so the relationship itself is burdensome. So then you're feeling not confident about the way that the relationship is going. But then once you're not confident about whether or not the relationship is staying together, then you feel anxious about that and burdened about that. And in the root of the situation, you have the Six of Wands reversed. So this situation, this relationship, this partner has humbled you. You haven't gotten what you've wanted out of it. You haven't felt victorious in this relationship, in the root of the situation. And in the recent past, a significant, prominent Aries energy entered the mix, or you sort of stepped into one yourself, whether you have any Aries in your chart or not, by realizing that you have all the tools that you need to manifest what you want, which is what the Magician card says to us, and is often an Aries energy to me. It could also be that a Gemini energy, significant Gemini energy recently entered the mix. And again, I'll say the same thing. Or we're saying that you stepped into that type of energy yourself, whether you have any in your chart or not. Just meaning that you took a look at yourself and valued very keenly and specifically each quality that you have to offer, and saw that indeed I can make magic. I can manifest whatever partner, whatever type of relationship, whatever I want in my life. And it could be something that you've been considering because the situation you're in now is so burdensome, because you're not sure if that situation, that partner, which clearly leaves you anxious and not confident, is what you want, given that you can manifest anything that you want. So we're looking at Pisces love for Scorpio season. Let's get the rest of this reading out. There you are, Pisces, the Queen of Cups showing up then in your crowning thoughts. Your higher consciousness, what you know when your ego is quiet, is yourself, your emotions, how you feel about the situation, the other person. I do see 2 Gemini energies on the table now. In general, regarding your love life during Scorpio season 2018, you need to ask yourself the question, what is honest affection? How do you define honest affection? Are you receiving it? Is there someone in your life who you expect it from, who should be showing it to you, and they are not in any way? What are your feelings versus your emotions? You may have very strong emotions for someone, but when you develop well thought out feelings that those emotions indeed do inform, you realize that the feelings are different than what the emotions were, and maybe not as strong. When your ego is quiet, you know how you feel about this person, this situation, whatever's going on in your love life at this time. You know yourself, what you need, what you want. And I can tell you that that is honest affection. The question is, are you receiving it? And that's different for each of you. Now, if a Gemini energy, a significant Gemini energy has recently surfaced or stepped into your life, then I see an entanglement with them in the outcome of this situation once you get into Sagittarius season. With the Lovers card showing here. These are the 2 Gemini energies that I said that I see. So it can be that someone's recently entered the picture, and then by Sagittarius season, they're even more significant in your life, or at least they're still there. They're still present in Sagittarius season, right? But I definitely also see the Lovers card, since this is a love reading for you, Pisces, as a message of lengthy entanglement that begins for many of you by Sagittarius season. And again, that could mean the end of Sagittarius season. Oh. It looks like there will be a choice between 2. It looks like there will be a choice between 2 paths in Sagittarius season, and from the feeling of this reading, I think you already see those paths opening now. So we have the 2 of air then in reverse, suggesting indecision on top of the Lovers card as a clarification, which is traditionally this decision between two different paths. So there's an indecisiveness in Sagittarius season, Pisces, and your advice is to use your intuition to answer those questions. I mean, we have the High Priestess card and the Intuition card showing up right next to each other here. So, yeah. Okay, sorry about that, Pisces. But as I was saying, it looks like this very significant decision between paths that's coming up for you in Sagittarius season. So just after the season ends, and that is just in a few weeks now, of course. A little over 2 weeks now, right? It looks like it's a decision for your intuition that you already know the answer to. And I do say a decision between paths, not necessarily between people. Maybe for some of you that is the case. But the Lover's card for me is often this very beautiful entanglement, a bond that is rooted in and implies deep trust, and it's a lengthy entanglement. So the question between paths is often, do you go with this person or not? Do you stay with this person or not? For some of you, it's do you carry on forward with a new energy who's entered your life because being alone has been burdensome? And then the question is there honest affection in your connection with them, right? Are they showing you the honest affection you would need to continue on with them? Or if it's a partner that you've been with for a while and that's the burden that you're currently experiencing, and I do see that message more clearly, then you're guided to listen to your intuition. Remember that you know yourself. Again, you know how you feel about this person, what you want, what you need, and allow that to answer the question of whether the two of you make an even greater commitment to each other, considering that it has been burdensome to get to this point, and considering that you haven't exactly gotten what you want. Perhaps they've given you what you need, though, Pisces. That is possible. For some of you, they haven't given you what you want, but they have given you what you need. And again, turn to your intuition and to the fact that you know yourself, what you want and what you need, and the difference between the two, right? To answer the question, have they given you what you want? Have they given you what you need? It's a significant time this season and moving into Sagittarius season for you to sit down and, of course, I get every call right now, for you to sit down and ask yourself those tough questions. Are both of you showing honest affection to one another? I see the Four of Swords underneath of this, indicating that you, again, need to go within to answer these questions, to ask these questions. Many of you haven't been asking yourself these questions, and I don't blame anybody for that, right? We're all so busy. But this indecision that's indicated here in the clarifier is telling us that it's going to hurt you if you don't make this decision. It needs to be made. Do these two halves of a whole, do these two opposites blend in a way that's healthy and happy for both of you? Are you able to show one another honest affection if you haven't been? So these are the questions to ask, and that's the fork in the road you're going to be looking at. And I see an indication that we're looking at indecision, which will push you in one direction or the other. If you sleep on someone who's a worthy partner, they won't wait forever, right? Exceptions to every rule, of course, but most worthy individuals will not. And if it is a partner who you have been with for a while already and is already creating somewhat of a burden for you, and you remain indecisive about whether or not to remain in this entanglement together, and and to strengthen your bond, to make an even greater commitment, then it may just naturally happen with the passing of time if you make no defined move to get out of the situation. Now, for some Pisces, I can sense that you're feeling like, okay, well, what my intuition has done is lead me to this or another reading, and if I don't have something to help me lean in one direction or the other, as far as this choice that you know is coming, then you will remain in that indecision. I think you want to go down this path with this lover, this person in Sagittarius season. Definitely. I feel cold chills everywhere right now. Yeah, Pisces, it requires some healing. You both just need some healing. If this is a new partner, then the two of you are in need individually of some healing. Well, the answer is, it's whichever path is most healing for you. If you're saying, for those of you who are saying no, remaining with them would continue to burden me, then you have to make the move. You have to make the clear decision and the move to move away from that entanglement and that partnership before it becomes more committed. But for a lot of you, I think, the reason that you're indecisive is because you're still healing, they're still healing, or both. Possibly from injuries that you've caused to one another, right? Possibly, and I mean that metaphorically, of course, figuratively. Maybe the two of you, neither one are sure about this path, and that's why I see indecision so clearly, about continuing on together, making a deeper commitment, or going off on your own, or even with someone else for some of you. But it looks like it's simply because there's healing required. Yes, there's healing required for you two as a couple. Yes, there's healing required. I'm so sorry about the music. I completely forgot. Yes, there's healing required for you two as a couple. Yes, there's healing required for you two as individuals, likely on your own. But this is a beautiful choice if the two of you are ready to embark on this new path together. If this is what you're both wanting, what you're both hoping for here. This is again a deep bond, a lengthy entanglement, but one with someone who has this mutual passion and feeling of trust and desire for you, and it may be changing a lot of plans for you. It may be taking you down a whole new path, as I keep saying, and that's another reason for the indecision. Another reason why you can only trust really your intuition. For some of you, some healing will have to be allowed to complete to a certain extent before you're able to make the decision. But I get the feeling, that you need to listen to your intuition now and not let this drag through Sagittarius season undecided, or else the decision will probably be made for you in some respect. And it may just be that you feel like you can't get in touch with your intuition or make this decision because you're healing still, but you can. And the hard fact of the matter is that you must, if you want to make the decision yourself. We have to often take action and make decisions before we feel like we're ready. And life itself is a healing journey, right, Pisces? So keep that in mind as well. And that, the decision may very well be made for you if you don't make up your mind sooner rather than later. Now, that was talking about Sagittarius season. So certainly continue to flow through Scorpio season with observing and gathering the information you need both internally and externally, in order to make that decision. You know, I'm not putting your foot on the gas pedal right this second. But I don't think that the indecision, once you reach Sagittarius season, the thick of it, the end of it, will be beneficial for you anymore. Okay, so with that, Pisces, we'll wrap your reading up. Thank you. Thank you for likes and subscribe. Scroll down if you'd like a private reading. All your options are there, or on my YouTube channel. Yeah, I think that's everything. And we will move on to the next sign. Who's next? We did Pisces. We'll go back and do Virgo. Right? Okay, Virgos. Virgos during Scorpio season 2018 regarding their love lives. Love messages for Virgos in Scorpio season 2018. Okay. Okay, so overall, this season, Scorpio season, regarding your love life, Virgos, I'm seeing that you're involved in some work that you don't really love to do. Perhaps I mean outside of the relationship, and that's directly affecting your attitude and energy for and toward the relationship or your love life, even if you don't have a relationship. It looks like I'm talking to Virgos who are at the very beginning of a relationship, and they don't like that part of the process. It's like there's no commitment yet. So you don't like the work that there is to be done to get to know one another, to find out, you know, do you like me as much as I like you? Do you want the commitment that I want? You're unsatisfied, it looks like, with the way things are right now at this point. Doesn't necessarily mean you don't like the person, but there is this this lack of a commitment. Maybe, you know, I'm talking to single Virgos who are having a fresh beginning in their own life personally. But they're lacking, you know, any sort of relationship, any sort of commitment. I also do though see the message for Virgos who have just started something brand new with someone. You do like them, but you hate the work of finding out if they're seeing someone else, if it's exclusive, getting to know maybe somebody's little bad habits, you know, the work of doing a background check on them, so to speak. Not that you're literally doing that, all of you, but that part of the process, trying to see what their character's like, trying to see, you know, if they're as good as you hope. Obviously you hope, or you wouldn't be spending time with them, right? In the root of the situation, I see the Four of Swords here. I see this energy of solemn contemplation. That's what this is all, this new beginning, this lack of commitment is rooted in, is someone meditating solemnly in solitude, someone going within and resting, perhaps after what they felt like was a battle, showing gratitude for all that they have. Somehow that's manifested this new beginning, and or the lack of commitment that you're in now. For some of you, we're looking at a breakup. Actually, some of you have a fresh start in your life, and it's happening in tandem with a breakup, a split, leaving someone behind. I am going to use the Rider-Waite to draw some clarifiers for you, and there will be information about all of the decks in the description of the video, of course. Yeah, in the recent past, we have some harsh truths communicated. Someone has realized, is realizing, as Scorpio season has been and is beginning, as we're progressing toward mid Scorpio season now. Someone has been realizing and has recently decided to communicate that so there's something toxic, something unhealthy about an attachment, a connection in your love life. It may have been you, it may have been both of you, but with someone, there were harsh words exchanged. It was a hard truth to realize, a hard truth to wield, and it was hard to communicate, and it may have been communicated immaturely, with the Page of Swords showing up here in your recent past. But again, it was a result of someone going within, after a battle, so probably after other fights that took place, that broke your heart even, and someone went within and maybe both people again, and resurfaced, after having shown gratitude for what they had left after that battle, after that heartbreak, and doing some serious solemn meditation, they resurfaced with these hard truths. Again, maybe both of you. There may have been immature communication, but I think a codependency was identified, or if not, some sort of toxic, unhealthy attachment, like we said. And when your ego is quiet, you do know that this beginning, this fresh beginning that you're experiencing right now in your love life, comes as a result of everything falling away, that is no longer serving you, that is no longer meant for you, that perhaps was never actually built for you in the first place. You may have built up this life, this relationship that you're coming out of. For most of you, I do think that's what it is, and that's why you have a fresh beginning. You may have built up that relationship, that commitment, thinking it was for you, but what you realize now is that it was never for you. It just really wasn't yours. It's not your home. It's not your place. And so, yes, I think everything is falling away in Scorpio season. But again, there are things that are not meant for you, are not serving you, and only through all of those things falling away can you now have this new fresh start and fresh beginning? It comes as a result of this split. It comes attached to this, I do think, this lack of commitment. It comes attached to this lack of commitment, because for some of you, you're already on the other side of what I'm talking about. And so you are at a place where you're starting something fresh with someone new and you don't have a commitment with them yet. But whether the overall energy is this Three of Pentacles in reverse of not liking the work that you have to do, whether you're still in the place of exiting a long relationship, allowing everything in your life to fall apart and fall away and make room for a new beginning, or whether you're on the other side now and you're trying to start again with someone. Either way, Virgos are in a place right now this season, as far as their love life, that's just not it's full of work that they do not like to do. But then in your near future, you have the Six of Swords, clarified by the Nine of Wands. So, and I see the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Pentacles here, alongside the Fool. New love, a new beginning, a fresh start, a new opportunities, new wealth, just a new beginning in every sense is on the board in what's representing you and what's on the bottom of both decks. Well, underneath of the Three of Pentacles reverse, and then the Ace of Cups I see here. So there is new love present, whether you're engaging in it now or not, or renewed love if, you know, you are insisting on working through this situation with a partner. But what I see most clearly is Virgos moving away from a hectic, chaotic, maybe temper-filled, very fiery, intense, probably passionate situation. This person is using their mind, is expanding their mind, broadening their perspective, and is allowing that to lift them to new states emotionally, mentally, of course, and so emotionally, spiritually, maybe even physically, certainly most likely physically as well, since you have the Tower card in your crowning thoughts. Some of you certainly are physically moving away then as well. Or, you know, the Tower card is showing up in your crowning thoughts because you know that you need to let everything fall away, but you're not at that point yet. Because I do see, you know, I see this situation moving toward calmer, more peaceful mental and emotional states. And then I see you looking back in the clarifier, waiting to see if it's really over. Can this person come with you? Is the relationship really over? Or is the fight really over? Is it about to creep back up, and is it going to start again? Are you all telling one another that you're moving on to calmer waters, but here comes that energy from the past starting up again? Some of you are dealing with that. Some of you are dealing with waiting to see if this person can actually come with you. This clarifier is looking right over at the Devil card. I mean, it's an addiction. It's an attachment. If it's a codependency, be it toxic or unhealthy, you know, it's still an addiction. And I am not telling all of you that it is necessarily an unhealthy and toxic addiction that you have to rid yourself and free yourself of. Perhaps it's an attachment that you want to keep. For a very few Virgos, that is the case. And this is a renewed love that the two of you have. But for most Virgos, it would be to your detriment to continue to deny that things need to fall apart. to continue to wait on someone you're attached to, but who is not best for you. But then as you move into Sagittarius season, here in a few weeks, as you move into and through Sagittarius season, you have the Knight of Cups. So and clarified by the Three of Pentacles in reverse, same card that was on the bottom, and then the Four of Swords now showing up on the bottom of the deck. Here's your Knight of Cups. He's got his emotions and his practicality balanced. He knows the difference between his emotions and his feelings. Yes, he has intense emotions toward another individual, both in positive and negative ways. They ignite him passionately, sexually, and they also ignite his temper. But he knows the difference between those very intense emotions that they cause in him and his more well thought out feelings that he has for that person that have developed over a longer period of time. And that's the energy that you're embodying, stepping into, met with, dealing with, handling in Sagittarius season, again, as you move into or through it. And still there's this indication that you don't like the work that you're having to do. With the Three of Pentacles showing up for us again as a clarifier then. This indication that you're still in a state of being unsatisfied. You're going through some type of hard part, difficult part that you would like to avoid. You would just like to avoid something about this. It can also speak to like a meeting being canceled, a team being disassembled, and maybe for a lot of you that's what this feels like the two of you were a team and it feels like your team is being disassembled. There is Scorpio energy on the board. There's Capricorn energy on the board. That may be in your own chart or just significant for you at this time. Of course, we are in Scorpio season, so there's that. See, some of you are repeating this cycle because some of you are repeating this cycle. You're moving on to calmer emotional and mental states after a heartbreak and a battle and a split. But then you turn around and look back and hope that this person that you're attached to can come with you. And if it's a Capricorn, it very well may be a healthy attachment that just shows up as the devil because it's a Capricorn. But if there's no Capricorn energy that we're working with, I'm guessing it is an unhealthy and toxic attachment. You've correctly identified it. You're going to make an offer of honest affection, as I said, knowing the difference between your emotion, in the space of knowing the difference between your emotions and your feelings. You're going to make an honest offer, but to this same person, find that you still don't like the work that you have to put into it. Find that you have to go within after another battle. And you can choose to listen to your intuition and go down a route and path of healing instead. It looks like that's where you're headed eventually, regardless. It just may be, for some Virgos, you're already doing that now, Scorpio season, Sagittarius season. Some of you need to allow this cycle to play out another time or two before you decide to head toward healing instead of repetition of a toxic cycle. For those of you who are moving out of this unhealthy attachment, likely what that represents there. For those of you who are moving away from that attachment, and instead are offering honest affection to someone else already in Sagittarius season, you will find yourself in the same space that I was talking about at the beginning of your reading. Not liking the work of the fresh beginning. Not knowing if this person is committed to you, not being familiar with their ways, their habits, their flaws, as you were probably with this previous partner. Again, some Virgos are already at that point. And it's a very similar experience because it's still umbrellaed under the idea of just not liking the work you have to do in your love life. But for those of you who are still repeating the cycle, that's then where you're headed. It's funny how that works. We're all on such similar journeys, I guess, is what I mean to say. Often just spaced out a few months or years apart and experiencing such similar things. But yeah, I see some of you just being a little bit ahead on this path. That's your decision to cut this off at the quick, and it's also others' decisions to decide they need to kill it all the way dead, make sure there's no chance that this works with this person before I give up on it. And those are your battles, and that's your heartbreak, and it's your time, right? And so I will leave you to your decision in that regard, Virgos. You already know. You already know. Thank you so much for just checking out the reading, Virgos. Thank you for liking and subscribing. If you're interested in a private reading from me, just scroll down or check out my YouTube channel. All of the information will be there for you. Yeah, do take good care, and I hope you make very wise decisions moving throughout the rest of Scorpio season and into Sagittarius season. I hope to have your November readings up later today, at least to get started on November readings later today. So those should be up very, very soon. And yeah, otherwise, again, take good care, Virgos. Next, who's next? Back to Aries. Right? Pisces, Aries, yes. As I put the Fool card down. Okay, Aries. Aries sun, moon, and rising signs. Aries, Venus and Mars, of course, as well. Anyone who's drawn to the Aries energy for any reason at this time, this is for you. Aries, sun, moon, rising, Venus, Mars, or otherwise, during Scorpio season 2018, regarding their love lives. Aries, are you perhaps engaged in entanglements with a Taurus energy? Couldn't spit it out. Some Aries are likely dealing with a Taurus, and it's covering you. It's on your mind. Venus is in retrograde. So For others of you, you know, you're dealing with Venus retrograde energy still. Well, we're all experiencing Venus retrograde energy still. Some Aries are looking at marriage at this time, or a commitment that is a lot like marriage, a deep and lasting commitment with another individual, a bond like a marriage, even if it's not legal or solidified in a ceremony necessarily. Yeah, in any case, Taurus or not, it does look like Aries are engaged in a faithful, committed situation regarding their love life this season. And in Aries, it's just it's taking all the burden off you. It's lifting all the weight off your shoulders. It's allowing you to relax. It's or it's time for a break. But I still see this commitment here, this faith, you know. Yes, I think it's a faithful interaction, but also, you know, I see that you have faith in what you have going on in your love life. Yeah, I think some of you in the recent past have really spoken up with your partner or whomever you're interested in, or maybe in talking to yourself about what you want and need. But you've communicated your wants and needs very clearly in the recent past, and it may have been in a harsh tone, it may have been in an immature way, but you got your point across. And it could have even been in talking to yourself about what it is you're looking for, what it is you want. But I see you've delivered the message, and it's resulted in this faithful commitment. Maybe it has resulted in somehow in a marriage, for some Aries, but for others, it's just sort of solidified your faith in and commitment to your partnership, or to the journey of finding what it is that you want in a partner, perhaps. For some of you, you know, there is miscommunication in the root and foundation of the situation. There's fast acting and possibly miscommunication, and that's probably why you were so intent on making sure you communicated yourself clearly in the recent past. But how it's all shaken out is that you need a break from someone that you are very committed to still. I think that's why the communication was harsh, because in some sense, one partner or the other, or someone was telling someone else, someone was communicating that they needed a little bit of a break from what it is they've been so faithfully committed to. And still the faith and the commitment remains, but it looks like you are taking that break that you need. So if you're a single Aries, Maybe you need to just have fun and relax and go on a few dates with people who you don't take too seriously, who you don't see a future with. It's just time to have a good time, to find some good vibes. And you need to take a break from searching so diligently for the right type of partner, and just go out with someone that you're attracted to, that you have fun flirting with, and have a good night, right? For those of you who are in a commitment, you need a break of sorts. Some of you have just recently asked for a break from all the fighting. I feel cold chills as I say that. Some of you have actually communicated that you need to take some time away from the commitment, from the relationship. But again, I still see that you have faith in the relationship. Or rather, what I still see that a lot of you still have faith in it, but definitely that you are still committed. It seems like you're still committed to this path, this journey, this person. You just need a breather, and or have earned it, deserve it, you know. It looks like both. It looks like the commitment remains and you are taking your break. Truth has been communicated, even if it had to be done so harshly. And in your crowning thoughts, your higher mind, when your ego is quiet, you're waiting to see how this turns out. That's the feeling I'm getting. You're still committed. So you're taking a break from the relationship, but you're also wanting to know how this turns out. You're also wanting to see if this break helps the relationship, or if taking a break from your path and your journey actually ends up helping you find who it is you're looking for. And for those of you singles who are looking, I do think it will. I think allowing yourself this, yes, confirmation. I do, yeah. If you take this break, if you take this time away from searching so diligently for what you think you need and want, and just allow yourself to go have fun, you'll run into that person. Definitely. So, and then for those of you who are in a commitment, as you're waiting to, as you're taking some time away from either just the fights or from the situation in general, you are still waiting to see what that does, how that informs the relationship, what that, how it helps the two of you and the couple to grow. You may be for those couples, you may, for those coupled, you may be feeling a little anxious about how will this break turn out. Here you are, King of Wands energy on the bottom of the deck. Suggesting, Aries, that overall this Scorpio season, your love life is about you. You need to take a break from either this person, this path, these fights, trying so hard to accomplish something that it's burdensome, and focus and refocus on self, which you know how to do. Which is actually a hard pattern for you normally to fall out of to begin with. So you certainly do need a break from whatever it is that you are asking for a break from, be it the person, the fights, either way. In the near future, Aries, I see some regret, though. Okay, I wanted to draw a clarifier first because I wasn't sure where this was taking us. But in the near future, you're regretting throwing something away. So I will say, if these two messages combine for you, if you are feeling burdened with a past relationship or a current relationship, and you're taking a break from it, and then you're going and searching for someone else, do be sure that you're communicating very clearly to your partner where your head and your heart is at. What does see, this is needing to take a break, but what does that break imply then? What does this time out imply? Because some of you, it's like you move on to someone else and you regret it. It's like you end up throwing your current situation away, and you do regret it. And it causes this up all night anxiety and worry, this fearful, stressful energy in your mind and your heart and your life. And then as you progress into Sagittarius season, I do see heartbreak. And with the Hermit card in reverse, we can be looking at needing time alone, trying to avoid something, or coming out of your shell. But I think it's needing time alone and avoiding with the heartbreak card there. Possibly coming out of your shell and going out and seeing other people because you're heartbroken. I mean, that could be for some of you. And then we have another card that speaks of Aries to me, the Fool card showing up, also saying that right now this is about you. If there's a Virgo in the mix, if someone has Virgo energy with the Hermit card showing up in reverse there for Sagittarius season, then I think you lose them or can't hold on to them by Sagittarius season, and there's heartbreak on the path that you're on now. If the spread has resonated with you, if you feel that you have messages here, of course you have to use your own discernment. Then in that case, then the path that you're on now is leading toward this Virgo not being around and it just breaking your heart. So reconsider your actions at this time during Scorpio season if it's a significant Virgo energy that you're working with, okay, particularly. And that's definitely the case for some of you. Some of you haven't even... well, when your ego is quiet, okay, you are wanting to know how things turn out between you and this person you're currently with, or with the path that you're currently on, right? Even if you're single. You are wanting to see how your present action of taking a break from something informs this project that you've been so invested in. You are still invested in it. When your ego is quiet, you know that. For some of you, Aries, because you're all about yourself right now, because you need to take the energy you were putting into your love life and make it about you. For some of you, you're not even aware of that on a conscious level. Your ego is sort of masking that. And for those of you who, again, who are talking about taking a break from a Virgo energy, I see regret, I see heartbreak. Anxiety, worries, fear. Some of you, what's happening is you're waiting to see how this situation turns out, and it doesn't help the relationship, the situation grow, evolve as much as you hoped it would, or not in the way you thought it would, because in the near future, you're hoping for something else. Maybe the break isn't enough to save it in the near future, because you're still dissatisfied with what you have in front of you, and you're looking for opportunities that aren't offered. You don't like the one you're being offered. And that's what puts you in this anxious, worrisome, fearful state, that, you made an attempt to take some pressure off, to relax and make things better in your current situation, and it didn't work. You still don't have what you want. Again, whether you're single or coupled. And then in turn, in Sagittarius season, that is where we see needing time alone, avoiding a situation you can't seem to find a solution to, and it ultimately landing in some heartbreak. All that said, and the reason I hesitated so much to allow those last two cards to be explained is because, all that being said, I don't think it's the wrong choice to focus on yourself at this time. There's two indications of your love life being about you at this time. Needing to refocus on self. That's a lot of what you bring to the table and offer, just in the Aries energy in general. So of course you are able to and have to be allowed to recenter and refocus there when necessary, when you need to. And I think it's for the best. I really do. Let's do one more clarifier here on the Ten of Wands reverse, that card that makes me continue to say break, 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 break. I don't think it is this time out, this taking a break and taking time to focus on yourself, taking time away from being so serious, away from having fights, away from a certain person who's taking too much of your energy, or away from a certain path that is requiring too much of your focus. I don't think it's taking that break for yourself that ends up resulting in this heartbreak later on. I think that is something that's just on the path that you're on. I think it's a valiant, noble, necessary effort to focus on yourself and what you need, and recenter at this time. And for some Aries, many Aries are doing that at this time. For some Aries, it's still not going to work out the way that you want it to. The clarifier is the Page of Cups, and it shows up for us in reverse. This is your clarifier on the Ten of Wands there, on what it is that you need a break from. Some of you, it could be a Pisces energy, and in particular, maybe that is an energy in your own chart. It's a part of you that you need a break from. I think for a lot of you, though, it's yours, or more likely your partner's insecurities. It's causing some harsh fights between the two of you. You feel watched, maybe stalked. And if it's not them, then it could be you. It could be both of you. It's likely one or the other in a relationship situation who's treating them like that. And I say that, I lean towards thinking it's your partner's insecurities, because I see this faithful commitment, even a marriage-like bond, if not an actual marriage. So I don't think, even as you take a break from this person, if it's a relationship or this path, either one, it's that you're still committed to it. So I think it would just have to be insecurities that was creating this harsh communication. And there is also immature communication in the recent past. No wonder you need a break. No wonder it felt burdensome. You've gone from miscommunicating with each other to harsh communication with one another. And down the line, for some Aries, There's going to be a heartbreak in Sagittarius season related to all this. I can't say that it is the final split between the two of you if we're talking about a relationship, but I see anxieties, fear, worry, and heartbreak. As we all know, that can often just mean that things are continuing to not go our way in the relationship. It's not necessarily the final end. That is up to each and every one of us as individuals. We are not done with it until we are done with it. But I do see heartbreak in Sagittarius season regarding this situation for you, Aries. I'm sorry to say so. I will say, as we end this message on such an unfortunate note, that well, and I say unfortunate, but heartbreak is part of learning ourselves and learning life, and we all go through it at some point or another. But I will say that no one's love messages for Scorpio season have been particularly nice or easy. I suppose there was no reason for me not to anticipate that, since Venus is still retrograde and we will continue to feel those energies for a little while after. Maybe that's why I was called and drawn to do the love messages for Scorpio season, because they are so late and I'm insisting on putting them out. And yeah, that may have been why I was drawn to it, because I knew there would be difficult messages. And I always ask for the ones that need to come through most. And the cards don't want to say anything else about it. I want something else. And they said, okay, one more thing. Okay. So at that point, once you reach this heartbreak, there will be this acknowledgement that the two of you, if it was a partnership that wasn't working, were to some extent alone when you were together, still alone even when you were in one another's company, and that this is actually something that you're gaining a new perspective on yourself. Your ego is cracking. You're becoming more of an authentic version of yourself, able to see your inner light through those cracks, and making space in your life for a new energy. Yeah, and I see you walking away from what is no longer meant for you, and it may be that Virgo energy showing up here again. So, and then the Five of Cups is underneath of that. Yes. I always like to leave room for a dual message. If it's going to be one of such deep heartbreak, I want to leave room for the message that this reading just seems so clearly to move in a direction of splitting and heartbreak and walking away. Again, I don't think it's rooted in you focusing on yourself too much, Aries. I don't. I think that you need to do now. And I think this path is heading in this direction regardless. Now, that doesn't mean, of course, free will changes things. This is just the path that some Aries are on now. And many things can change it before you get to Sagittarius season, of course. I don't think that much can change the Virgo energy leaving your life. It may very well be a situation of it's them, not you. Their insecurities, your all's inability to communicate clearly with one another, or kindly enough. The fact that there are just things about your personality that leave you feeling alone even when you're together. And then there's this need, like I said, to walk away, to love the sound of your footsteps walking away from things that you have realized just are not meant for you, even if it is a beautiful, perfect Virgo, who you regret, who makes you feel, without when you were without them, who possibly possibly leaves you in mourning, in mourning. Okay, leaves you in mourning is the word I want there. With the Five of Cups showing up underneath it there as well. That's definitely what I was trying to spit out, Aries, because you are committed. I think you do feel committed and faithful. If not, the two of you are bound up in a commitment to one another, whether you're both being faithful or not, then that feels like marriage. Still, you're in this. And I don't want to suggest a self-fulfilling prophecy, but I do want to communicate to you that if things do fall apart in Sagittarius season, if you're trying everything you can, a break, etc., to hold on to what you have now, making valiant efforts to communicate more clearly with one another, more kindly, and things still result in heartbreak in Sagittarius season, it's not your fault. It's not your ego. It's not your need to take this break away from the fights and be with yourself. It's not you. And then that's not to say that it's all them. What I see is an unfortunate combination of personalities, of people where you just can't quite get the communication there. And it may be, I'm talking so much about taking a break now. It may be that some of you need to take a break, will need to take a break in Sagittarius season. It can be that during Scorpio season you need that break, but you don't actually get it until your heart is broken and it insists on a break in Sagittarius season. And so that is, one way in which, this reading may not be putting the nails into the coffin of anybody's relationship. It could be saying that break then is coming up if you need it now and aren't taking it, right? So that's one way to see it. Don't think it's your fault, Aries, even if it does all have to fall apart. A lot of you still are still going to continue a cycle for a while at least. But you had to be honest about how you felt, what you needed with yourself. You had to be honest. You had to offer yourself truth. And if you are involved with a partner, you had to offer it to them. That is the right thing to do. Even if they're calling you selfish, even if their communication is harsh in return to you, it's still not your fault. And I definitely see insecurities present as a big factor here in the spread, in this reading, and a Virgo who just may be on their way out no matter what you do. But through no fault of any one person's, without the need to have blame placed on either of you. Sometimes in this confusing, cruel, not always cruel, but this confusing and ironic world that it can seem cruel. And you can find yourself in these situations where you both do want to make things work, but you just don't communicate well. You need new perspectives in order to really enjoy one another and what one another has to offer. Only perspectives that you can only enjoy through splitting, parting ways, and going off and experiencing things without one another. And at the same time that it can feel cruel, it might be the only thing that could direct you and put you on the path that you needed to be on for XYZ blank, fill in your destiny, whatever it is that you're headed towards specifically, right? So with that said, Aries, I do hope that you'll make very wise decisions moving throughout the rest of Scorpio season and into Sagittarius season. If you need a private reading, scroll down to the description of the video or check out my YouTube channel. Happy to work with you, and thank you. And thank you for likes and subscribes as well. I really do appreciate that. I will try to have your November readings up ASAP. I hope to at least start those this evening. So with that, we will move on to the next sign. Take good care, Aries. And the next sign is Libra, right? I did Pisces and then Virgo and then Aries, and now I'm going to do Libra. Yeah. And Libra, the moon card came out for you immediately. Many Libras are very in tune with the natural cycles at this time. Many Libras are maybe very much manipulated by the moon's movements itself. I know the moon was just in Leo. Is it now in Virgo? Sorry, I'm losing my table. Shoot. Okay, that will do. Libra, I think a lot of you are unaware of how much you're influenced by the natural cycles at this time. Movements of the planets, your planets, the moon. Check out your astrology. Some of you are somewhat unaware of the power of using the cycles of the natural cycles and where the moon is at. Sorry about that. Must readjust. Huh. Well, sorry, so many technical difficulties. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the bottom of the deck, Queen of Pentacles reversed. This is the overall energy regarding your love life, Libras, at this time during Scorpio season 2018. The Queen of Pentacles in reverse to me is saying right now, there's some anxiety that's overwhelming everything else in your love life at this time. Someone's feeling anxious, whether it's you or your partner, because someone has given too much. So if you're a single Libra, you've probably given too much in the way of trying to find and or secure a partner. You may be just trying too hard, coming on too strong to people, or focusing so hard on trying to find what you're looking for that you miss it. Yeah. Single Libras may just be, giving too much focus and attention to their love lives in general. Partnered Libras, one of you is giving too much. Likely you, Libra, you're with someone who's taking too much, you're giving too much. What else have we? All is not what it seems with you regarding your love life right now, Libras. You have acquired some success, something you've been aiming for, been shooting for, but it's not what you thought it would be. And at the same time, this season, you know you have all the tools that you need to manifest whatever it is that you want. You may be involved with a significant Aries. You may have an Aries on your mind. Or, you may have all the tools to create what it is that you want, but what's on your mind is that you're not sure which direction you want to go. What tools do you use? What is it that you want to manifest? What path, what future, what partner, what relationship? There's just a lack of direction in some sense, and or you're involved with a significant Aries or Gemini, possibly someone who has both in their chart. It's all rooted in some Leo energy. So that's interesting because the moon was just in Leo, and then the moon is your card. Your mind, body, and spirit has been conditioned. You have conditioned it for this situation you find yourself in currently. That's why this Aries or Gemini energy is in your path at this time, or why you feel you have all of the tools to manifest what it is that you need, what it is that you want. Even if you're lacking a little bit of direction. Right now, as Mars is retrograde, that makes some sense to me. You're not sure which direction you'd like to act in. You just know that you can act in whichever one you want once you decide, right? Sorry, I'm disgusted at the time, not you. Trying not to be distracted by it. So in the recent past, you have the Knight of Pentacles progressing slowly and steadily toward this. Again, is it an Aries? Is it a Gemini? Or is it deciding which direction you'd like to take yourself in? For some of you, as I say that, I realize it's because you're deciding between the two. There are many different messages here for you, Libra. Maybe flowing through so continuously one after the other because you are so in tune with the natural cycles at this time. Again, all is not what it seems. There is an energy of regret in your mind, in your crowning thoughts. So when your ego is quiet, you know that you have some regret, that you regret the way that you have behaved at some point in your past. I don't see it showing up in your recent past or even the root of the situation, but you are harboring some regret. You feel that you've lost something, someone, and you may not be talking about it with anyone. It may not be showing in anything that you're doing at this time, but again, when your ego is quiet in your higher consciousness, you know. And it's leaving you feeling bound up. Maybe you've lost someone and you feel like that's the only person for you, but that's just something that you're telling yourself. These limiting beliefs that this blindfolded young lady is keeping herself entrapped by is all her own doing. She can also let herself out of that anytime. She can take that blindfold off, and she's not actually encased by those swords even, right? So I think, that regret, that loss that's in your crowning thoughts, while it is certainly a very real loss to you, it doesn't have to that wasn't the only person for you. That isn't the only one. And it doesn't have to control you or dictate your present to the extent that it is. You're allowing it to make your present success feel less successful, less joyous than it could be, simply because this person isn't here to share the success with you, I think. And I see the Queen of Pentacles in reverse again. So I think it was an earth energy in your past. I think it's an earth energy that you are missing now currently, Libra, Taurus, specifically, or Capricorn or Virgo, any of those earth energies. See, we have the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles here, right? And it's something that you're just not able to hold on to, Libra. It's someone you can't have back, at least not at this time, possibly at all. Sorry about that. Pay no mind. Everyone has interruptions. But for some of you, you are literally, stuck thinking about someone who you cannot physically get a hold of anymore. They're not seeing you. You're not seeing them. You two aren't... you're not able to touch them. And it looks like you it looks like you're missing them. For some of you, it is a significant earth sign. As I said, for some of you, it's a Pisces or Cancer. It can be all the above. They may have all of those energies in their charts, whether you know it or not. But then we already said possibly Aries or Gemini. There's Leo in the root of the situation. So there's so many signs. You have so many major arcanas here. The Moon card covering you, strength and courage, conditioning yourself, as I said, your mind, body, and spirit, showing up in the Strength card in the root of the situation, and then temperance, forgiveness in your near future, and judgment, your karma being cleared then by Sagittarius season. And that's really the biggest message that I see here, Libra, is I think that you need to forgive yourself for how things went with this person or in your past regarding some situation in your love life. I think some forgiveness for yourself is required. And I think through that you will see that, it's not the absence of this person who's making your current success and wealth less than. And it's not their fault that you feel less than either. It's less of an addiction to the person themselves and more of an obsession that you're having over the way things shook out, the way things went. I think you need to, I think you just need to forgive yourself for any mistakes you made in the situation, or maybe for remaining stuck on it for so long. And that forgiveness really catalysts this complete, total transformation that we see here, as the clarification. I think it's also indicating, that the forgiveness is happening, the forgiveness of self, and maybe of the other person. Maybe the other person, the other energy needs to be forgiven so that they can then be let go of. But I see that happening in Scorpio season, by the end of Scorpio season, and then in Sagittarius season, your karma really being lifted, any karmic ties that bound you to this person, to this situation, to this type of pattern maybe that's been cluttering your love life, possibly even for years. When you see the Judgment card showing up, this major arcana, this very powerful energy here, and clarified with yet another major arcana, the Tower energy, suggesting that for many of you Libras, that karmic clearing I'm talking about is actually happening this season. Although this card is normally Sagittarius season, has been in the past 11 readings, I think for you it's saying a lot of your karma is cleared even in Scorpio season. Now, that does mean a lot of things falling away, falling out of your life, things that aren't serving you, that aren't meant for you, that you did not actually build for yourself. It wasn't built for who you are now, at least. even if you thought you were building it for yourself at the time, that relationship, that person, that way of being, that has to be shed, and many external things have to fall away. But what you're left with, feeling worthy, feeling like you can be completely honest in front of anyone and everyone and be okay with who that person is that you're exposing and showing to the world, and feeling that you have granted yourself your own forgiveness and now can enjoy your success fully with or without someone else present. It's worth it. It's worth all that shedding of skin and allowing of things falling away, and it's where you are headed. Again, currently, what I want you to bear in mind is it is not that other person's fault that you feel that you can't enjoy their success. One and either of you are, and both of you are, worthy of your forgiveness in this situation. Now, granting someone your forgiveness does not mean granting them another opportunity. That's not the same thing. That's not what I'm saying. But you're worthy of your forgiveness in the situation, whatever transpired. And it's neither person's fault that you feel unable to enjoy your success currently without them, but or whatever your current successes are. But again, it is you that can free yourself from these limiting beliefs, these binds of maybe, if you're single, could be maybe that you won't ever find who it is you're looking for, or if you are hung up on someone from your past, that you can't be happy without them. One card from the Dreams of Gaia Tarot. No, that's way too many. One card from the Dreams of Gaia Tarot regarding advice for Libras during Scorpio season. Talking about Libra's love lives and Scorpio season. One piece of advice. The King of Water. This can be a Scorpio, Cancer, or Pisces again. This is to balance or to master rather your emotional realm. When I say that, master your emotional realm, to approach your love life, these issues you're having currently, from a very calm and emotionally mature place, right? Seek counseling if that's what's needed, but oftentimes what's needed is just to observe our own honest emotions and the emotions of those that we're dealing with, and move forward calmly, right? Easier said than done. It's definitely one of those easier said than done pieces of advice. But see, it's within you that all is not what it seems. The Moon card is saying currently in regards to your love life, all is not what it seems. All is not what it seems with you. It's within you. And that's why the suggestion, the advice is to master your emotional world. Get in touch with how you really feel, what it is that you really want and need, and approach this person, this situation yourself calmly, maturely. Rather than just trying to take action in some direction just because you can, when you don't really know what direction you want to go in or what the right action is. You may think you do. You may think that the direction you want to go in is backwards toward this person, but would be why then that all is not what it seems, because what you want to do is evolve and develop into a more authentic, forgiving, deserving, worthy version of yourself. And for those of you who resonate with this message, the path to that is not backwards, and our path forward is never backwards, Libra. Okay, with that said, I will have to leave your messages at that. I do hope that they offered you all something you didn't have when you came to the reading. I hope you'll make very wise choices moving forward. Thank you so much. I hope you will like and subscribe if you haven't. I do appreciate that. Scroll down if you would like a private reading with me. And otherwise, I will have November readings up as soon as I can. Take good care.